All right, 97.1. We'll get back into the Mitch Lawrence report from Sporting News as it pertains to SVG, Arntellum, and Goris. A lot going on there. Your basketball team is a circus. Izzo speaketh. Izzo might very well be clean, but Bridges, his mom, sorry, doesn't matter if it's $5. Dirty should be ineligible. You really have no understanding of the rules, but carry on. You're right. Miles should be ineligible. Go for it. I don't follow ESPN on any social media outlets. I don't watch them or any games on ESPN. I've deleted their app. I can't stand them. Huge Michigan fan, and Mike, I can tell you with certainty there are a lot of Michigan fans who are upset with ESPN for all of this as well. It's not fair what they are doing to you. No, it's not fair what they're doing to Arizona either. That's the whole point. And it's a pair of writers who started writing books, moving copies. I don't know if Schleybaugh and Levine thought they were going to cash in here, but they're reporting on Michigan State and then certainly this Arizona thing. Not a good look. ESPN is totally discredited. This goes beyond fandom. Funny how ESPN's defensive when allegations are brought against them. If I hear one more person say where there's smoke, there's fire, I'm going to run in traffic. That's from a Michigan fan. I know it's just halftime, but if Michigan messes around and loses today, they'll be off for 15 minutes until the start of the tournament. Recipe for an upset. That's from Mike. Listen, this is one thing, and I know for years, like we used to joke around, and Terry would always be watching the TVs. I don't have a TV in front of me. The TVs are behind me. I cannot physically talk on a microphone and watch TV. I've also made a habit that this time of year, whether we would be doing shows in the tournaments going on or whether conference tourney week, I don't take my focus off this. I'm not programmed to do it. So I'm not currently watching that game. I know the Minions are. I know the morning Minions are.
48-42 Michigan with 15 minutes left.
Bottom line, I was going to bring this up tomorrow because we wanted to do a little bit of actual basketball. I think Michigan is very, very dangerous. They've gotten, they're playing good basketball, and they're a well-coached team. Michigan has not had to deal with any of the spotlight. They've been able to chill out, go about their business quietly, effectively. Michigan State's getting all the coverage, some cases hype, some cases criticism. Michigan has just silently sat back. They're doing their thing. I think they're the sleeper in this tournament. I'd be shocked if they lost today. I don't get carried away when teams win close in conference tourneys. This is a one-and-done deal. You know, the team you're supposed to beat, they know it's their last game of the season, and they don't want it to be. So teams fight you to the death. It's just survive and advance. You don't got to win pretty. But Michigan is one of those teams, not only in this tournament, but in the big dance, I think they're capable of making some noise and really upending somebody. You know, I was very impressed the day they played Ohio State, the way they played, surviving some of the runs. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and tell you Michigan's going to the Final Four. I don't think they're capable of that. But I would be very surprised if they're not in the second weekend of the tourney. Very surprised. Get over your stupid war with ESPN. There's no way Arizona fans are upset with ESPN. It's only MSU ones. Oh, right. You poor, poor, ignorant wretch. You poor thing. A lot of people are angry with ESPN. Arizona fans are very angry.
Rightfully so.
Thank you for discussing this. I'm boycotting ESPN, refuse to consume their content. Sean Miller's putting his career on the line. I'm going to tend to believe him. ESPN likely will have egg on its face. Look, with respect to this report, yes. But remember, Sean Miller might not be on that tape, and it might not be on DeAndre Ayton. The school could still choose to get rid of Sean Miller for being the coach of a program where certain things may have been going on. Until or unless Book Richardson is exonerated, there is a very good chance Sean Miller doesn't survive. But this is about the specifics of this case with this young man for this team right now. Let's go over to Zach, 97.1. Zach, how you doing?
Mike, I'm doing well. How you doing, brother?
Good, pal. What's on your mind?
Not much. So I agree with everything you're saying, the over-sensationalization of this and what's going on with Izzo and him having to deal with that stuff. But what I'd love to see, and I respect you a ton, respect the station a ton, is it's quackery on ESPN's side, and it's been like that, and this is just the new norm for them. Just from the fan side, though, after this report, after this is all done, I just like to close the door on it, to be honest with you, in general, and just go back to the same as normal. Now, I'm not dismissing what happened at Michigan State, all the bad stuff, whatever. I know we need to hear about it, and I'm glad there's a guy like you to call the ESPN out on the BS. But, I mean, are you with me on that where it's just
100%.
Enough is enough?
Okay, clarify the statement. I think we'll both agree with it. As it pertains to Tom Izzo and Mark D'Antonio being villainous empowerers of sexual violence, yes, the book is closed. It never should have been opened, and shame on ESPN for opening it. As it pertains to Larry Nassar, no. I hope MSU gets absolutely hammered, and I hope the people that empowered him face the same fate as him with about 200 years in prison. But as it pertains to the basketball and the football coach, I'm done.
Amen, brother. I'm right there with you, man. It's just ridiculousness. And I'm glad there's a guy like you to expose it. And you know, the only problem is, and this is just a problem with media in general and reporting and all this other type of stuff, is when somebody's stupid, when somebody's an idiot, it gets amplified, it gets in more attention. And I just wish culture would change on that, where those idiots don't get attention. And then there's that common ground where people just stop doing the clickbait thing and stop worrying about this type of stuff.
Well, right. And Zach, you know, Sully had told me kind of Sully always informs me because, Zach, as you know, I'm not a fan of social media. I left it years ago. Sully gives me an idea of what the people are talking about. It's always a feature of our show prep is, okay, Mikey, well, what's the temperature of the fan base on this topic? And Sully, you told me, well, a lot of people are like, well, Izzo needs to talk to the New York media. No, he doesn't. Understand. Izzo didn't say he's not going to answer. Whatever people throw his way, he's a big boy. He said, you're not going to ask my players about stuff anymore. I've kept my locker room open for 5 weeks. I let my players talk. And you know what you did? You waited for a kid to not totally answer a question correctly, and you blew it up and essentially had certain people in the media tried to make the young man a liar. So now we're done. Now you don't get access to my players as it pertains to the outside stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, Izzo, no, I think it's hilarious when people say, well, this is what this man needs to do now. According to who? Is there an ongoing investigation regarding a recruit right now, a player on his team? The answer is no. I mean, the NCAA investigation is simple. It's because Joel Ferguson popped off to the media and dared the NCAA to come in there. But as it pertains to Izzo, he has spoken. He's done. This idea that somehow the New York media is going to be different than the media now, a lot of the people that were at the practice facility yesterday will be in New York to cover this. Like, what are you talking about? I think the people who say that, I'll just be very blunt with you. The people who say that Izzo needs to keep talking are the people who want him to burn and who want Michigan State basketball to die. Those are the only people saying that. There's nothing to discuss. It's done as it pertains to basketball and football.
Well, and Mike, quickly, I think when I was listening to Tom Izzo, there were two words that really stood out to me with the whole thing. He said very comfortable. He said, I'm very comfortable with what I've done and where everything's at. And I was thinking to myself, if he thinks or if he knows that he's guilty in any way, I don't think you're using that word comfortable, especially in any sort of sexual assault type investigation.
Exactly.
To use the word very comfortable, I think that's a statement in itself.
It's your best point of the day.
What I pulled out from that.
Excellent job, Mikey Minion.
Yeah. Jeez, I appreciate that. Just trying to, do my job back here behind the glass.
Yeah, just trying to keep this thing on the rails. Morning show talks about you guys like your babysitters. They got no clue how hard you guys
Well, it's
work.
funny because someone told me the other day that they were talking about us. So I woke up. It was early in the morning. I flipped it on, and they put me back to sleep. I couldn't even stay listening to it. So.
Okay. Well, I'm not going there. That's. I'm leaving that alone. That's Mike Sullivan's wording, not mine. I'm staying out of this. I'm trying to put this to bed. You're trying to.
Not that way.
Yeah, well, Sully's decided.
Oh, it's all fun. I've talked to those guys this morning. Come
okay,
on.
all right.
Sully just turned into Tupac all of a sudden.
No, it's true. I was listening in the morning. Woke up to listen. Just I happened to fall back asleep when I was listening to them.
I
I was screening the car. He said Tupac. I had to die laugh. If you will.
There's no beef. We're all cool. Stoney was in the cubicle talking to me for 15 minutes this morning.
That's all?
Did he ever look you in the eyes?
Yeah, he did, yes.
248-539-9797. We'll get some more of the people in the mix. Also want to bring back the Pistons news of the day, sporting news, and what just sounds like organizational chaos. When your battery loses its power,